Welcome back to Dennis and the Doc, where tonight we will preview your Creighton Blue Jays taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes in our first actual test of the 2023-2024 season. 9 p.m. Central Time tip at the CHI Health Center in order to get that third Gavitt game window in on a pretty good night for college hoops. Mr. Dennis, how excited are you for the slate tonight and for the Jays?
Bring me the head of Fran McCaffrey. I fucking hate Fran McCaffrey. It's personal. I'm taking this game personal. I think he's my second least favorite coach besides Danny. Fuck Fran McCaffrey. I'm excited for the slate. Badgers at the Amp. A couple of Champions Classic.
Yeah.
Illinois Marquette should be good.
Yeah,
Good day hoops.
We have covered this on the podcast shortly before, but neither of us are big fans of Fran McCaffrey nor the Iowa Hawkeyes. Of course, Mr. Dennis grew up a Wisconsin fan. Dr. Chim has run in Northwestern and Iowa State circles. So the black and gold does not get a kind reception on this podcast. But we're going to start today talking about a really, really rough night for Big East hoops last night. Part of it was expected, and then part of it was shit going off the rails a little bit. So to recap, your positive result of the night was Butler beating East Tennessee by 34. So we have that. But all downhill from there, sort of in order, you've got Xavier putting up a decent effort at Mackey for sure, but falling to Purdue 83-71. You've got the Johnnies were trailing big most of this game. Fell to Michigan 89-73 at the Garden. And then the shocker, of course, Nova drops at the Palestra to Penn 76-72. Bit of a it's considered a true road game, I think, but those Big Five games are always sort of neutral site in that regard. But Mr. Dennis, right? We'll ask the big question first and go smaller from there. Are you worried about the Big East?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Teams have lost. I think I'll push back a little bit on the Palestra being neutral. I think that's a pro-Penn environment. I guess it's tough to say because so much of your conference in a macro sense is built off of what you do in the non-con. And St. John's and Villanova are two teams that hit the portal pretty hard. St. John's harder than Nova. So it might take them longer to mesh. I think long term they'll be fine, but the perception might not be, which is probably worst case scenario, I guess. I don't know. Penn's certainly not a good loss. I don't think it's terrible.
I suppose it's not an end of the world kind of loss. At the end of the day, it is a road game.
It probably ends up Q2.
What is that? Top 150 or it's top 125 on the road, right?
Sounds right.
I don't know for sure. Yes, not an end of the world loss, but at the same time, I think being Nova this year, you had to change perceptions early, and it doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, your conference record will speak for itself. If you go 12-8 in the Big East, you're making the tournament, most likely.
Probably.
So they are by no means in serious trouble yet, but now it's at the point where, all right, there's your one. You can't lose another.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot lose another non-Power 5 or Power 6 game all season.
Yeah, and their non-conference is tough for better or for worse. They play home versus Maryland, then neutral Texas Tech. I don't know what tournament that's part of.
I don't either.
But then presumably another good team after that. St. Joe's at home, whatever. At Kansas State and home versus UCLA. So there's certainly room to make it up. If you get 4 wins against Maryland, Texas Tech, mystery opponent, Kansas State, UCLA, you go 4-2 in that stretch, you're fine.
Yeah.
Or 4-1, whatever it would be.
Well, yeah, you just basically have to not lose to St. Joe's.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the only.
Not lose to St. John's and probably win at minimum 2 of those other games.
Even if you, minimum 2, that's fair. Because I was going to say, even if you don't win 3 or 4 of those, they aren't season killers, but you would have to look really good in Big East play, which we both think they will.
Yeah, they're not season killers, but you find yourself 3-5 in the non-con.
Right.
you don't do yourself a lot of favors.
Yeah, even if you end up 6-5, then you probably got to put up a 12 game or a 12-win Big East. That I don't know. I mean, I said it on our Big East preview. I think people were overrating the conference a little bit. I think the top 3 are every bit as good as everyone's saying they are. I really thought Nova was going to be a top 20 team, and they still might be. You know, you never know. Figure things out.
Yeah, let's not bury him yet.
No, and I think same thing for the Johnnies. Like, they're gonna be growing pains again. I was lower on them than you, but I kind of came around a little bit. I still think they'll be there by the end of the year. They've just got to avoid doing too much damage to themselves before then.
Yeah, I think Michigan's legit.
I do too. Yeah.
That looks like a legit team. I think some addition by subtraction there.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, but I think this team fits together better. And I think St. John's is only... that's what I said. If you remember, like, as high as I was on St. John's, I said it wouldn't shock me if they were like 6-4 in non-con.
Yeah.
And so I think they'll take time to gel. I mean, that did not look like a Patino defense at all yesterday.
God, no.
They were
Yeah.
lazy, stupid mistakes, and I think that gets cleaned up. But yeah, getting run off your home court, not a great look, but I don't know, it's early. I don't think any of them are. I mean, again, Kansas State, for all of you who want to buy into like one early season result, Kansas State got ran off the floor by Butler last year.
Sure, yeah.
Shit happens. I don't think you overreact too much to one game.
Well, and it's, too, I think it's the dichotomy of playing in the Garden, right? Like,
yeah.
That's where they should be. But it's going to be a motivator for every team they play there.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw DeMarinis, I think, tweeted that their first 5 conference home games are all at the Garden, and it's Creighton, Marquette, UConn, Nova, and Providence.
Okay.
So they're gonna get baptized pretty early this year.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, the problem is their schedule is such a way that if they don't win a couple of these non-cons and they maybe limp to like 10-10 in conference, if they get off to a bad start, that might not be a tournament resume. So it'll be a matter of if they can get a big conference win on the road, maybe, you know. But yeah, they didn't do themselves any favors last night. Yeah, I think that said, we both agree Michigan is legit and probably substantially better than last year. I mean, if you're just purely looking at results so far, they're a top 15 team probably.
Yeah.
Butler's looked good so far. Nice for them. Again, no real test yet, but hey, if they finish any better than, I think, 8th this year with that roster, like, they'll never do it, but Thad Matta should be Big East Coach of the Year because that should be a terrible team.
Yeah, and I mean, Butler has chances to put together a nice resume. They're away Michigan State, neutral FAU, home Texas Tech, home Cal, who I'm high on, and I think that could look like a decent win by the end of the year. Like, Butler has a chance to...
You managed to win 3 of those games. You're going to be in serious contention.
Yeah, I mean, I think you win the home games. I don't know I think the FAU game is part of a tournament, I would assume.
The Michigan State one is for sure, I think.
I don't think so. That says it's a true road game.
Is that their Gavitt?
It must be.
Oh, shit. Okay. Because I remember there's the whole discussion has been that they're like plus 4,000 to win their tournament or something like that.
Okay.
And I thought it was because they play a crazy team right at the beginning of it, but maybe not. I don't remember for sure.
I mean, Butler finds a way. Should we have looked up these MTs?
Maybe.
But,
maybe.
I mean, if you win the home games and like you find a way to get a win or two on the neutral, like all of a sudden you have a decent at-large resume. You're already up to 62nd in KenPom, which early season KenPom. They're up 34 spots since the start of the year.
Now they've been efficient too, which is I think the most notable part. The defense has looked good. The offense has clearly improved from last year, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Like they weren't putting this kind of hurt on anybody last year.
Kansas State.
Yeah, except for Kansas State. Purdue Xavier. I think that showed that Xavier will at least compete in the Big East this year.
Yeah.
And I think there were legitimate questions about that with the roster they have. But no, Miller can coach. Right?
Yeah, Miller can coach. They're overmatched. Purdue didn't look great.
Yeah,
he still is incapable of following in the eyes of the stripes.
Yeah, he gets an all-star whistle. I think somebody tweeted that last night. Yeah.
Speaking of all-star whistle, did you see the foul Giannis got the other night?
I don't pay any attention.
Shit, I'll have to send it to you.
Okay. So that and a Nebraska win over Rider at 64-50, I guess, if that's notable for Jays fans out there. Not a super impressive performance. takes us into today's slate. So the games we are keeping an eye on tonight, Mr. Dennis's Wisconsin Badgers at Providence Friars. PC are 1.5 dogs at home.
Switched, yeah.
Yeah,
Market Steam, Wisconsin.
I was going to say, I thought it was
one or two
different.
the other way.
Okay, that's what I thought. I think that's probably right, the way the Badgers have looked so far.
Yeah, they missed a ton of free throws down the stretch against Tennessee.
Oh, fun.
Which I think Tennessee's good. I don't know. I'm high on Wisconsin. Winning at Providence is tough. I'd probably see this game closer to its original spread.
Yeah.
So I think if I had to, I'd take Providence. But I still do like this Wisconsin roster. I still have questions about Kim English coaching. It's a stay away for me. I go back and forth. A 6-point win either way wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to put it. Dual looks real good for Providence. He's a guy. Gaines and Oduro haven't done much yet, so we'll see if they can get anything from either of them. That'll be the question tonight. Duke, Michigan State. I've seen the questions like who needs the win more. To me, it couldn't be any clearly more that Michigan State needs it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Duke are 3.5-point favorites, and frankly, I'm all over that. I don't think it will be that close.
I think I would agree. Yeah, I liked it. It opened 2.5. I missed that, so I'll stay. I see 4 most places now. I'll stay away.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't bet Michigan State.
No, I like Duke to win by 6 to 10.
I think Arizona was a really bad matchup for I think their weakness is weakness like ours is a big like Bayo that can get down and bang. It's just a massive body, and Michigan State doesn't have a guy like that.
Right. Bellarmine at Chattanooga tonight is kind of a sneaky, interesting game. The Mocs are 2-0, 4.5-point home favorites. Not a lot to say there, but keeping an eye on that, of course, because we got to find out who the best team in Louisville is, and Lord knows it's not the Cardinals. So
I took Bellarmine +7.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Yeah, I got it last night.
I was a little surprised to see it that far in
Chattanooga's favor. Off their big win over Louisville.
Yeah.
Us Cardinal fans need to show out tomorrow.
Kenny Payne.
If they lose out, is he fired? Coppin State's like
Coppin
360.
State, I would think so. I would think so. Then we head to Colgate at Syracuse. Battle for in-state supremacy. Syracuse 6.5-point favorites. They beat Colgate the last time they played, didn't they?
I don't think so. I think Colgate won.
Okay. I couldn't remember for sure. I thought I was disappointed by the result the last time they played.
I think Colgate won.
So we know we've got some big Colgate fans in the Jays fan base. So Toledo at Wright State tonight, also kind of a nice mid-major game.
Tanner Holden's still in school somehow.
Yeah, Toledo 2-0, Wright State's 0-1, but they are 2.5-point favorites. Marquette at Illinois, the 7 p.m. Gavitt game window tonight. Illini favored by 1.5. I suppose that's not too surprising.
I've heard. I think Kolek's questionable. I think he's going to play. They've been saying game time decision, but
I mean, obviously that swings it quite a bit. Yeah. But I mean, I think I like Marquette tonight.
Yeah, I think Shaka as a dog is pretty good.
Yeah, they were a good road team last year for the most part. Came into here without much trouble. Mm-hmm. It was a good game, but they looked composed.
Yeah, revenge game for Illinois, Marquette.
Yeah,
clipped them last year.
I kind of expect something similar tonight. Like I think it'll be a good game. Marquette maybe pulls away late. I think Illinois is still working out their new pieces. Like I really like Damask. How the hell you say his name? Damask. Yeah. So I like Illinois. I think by the end of the year, I think they'll be the second place team in the Big Ten this season. But for now, I'll take the squad that's a little more established together. A&M got a weird in-state road game at SMU. Those are always treacherous, but they're 5.5-point favorites. I like that tonight.
I don't know a ton about SMU other than they killed K-State in the one secret scrimmage.
Yeah.
I don't know enough to say.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the books reacting to that, but now that we know that K-State maybe doesn't look near as good as last year either, that I'm not too worried about that. Kentucky at Kansas, or not at Kansas, versus Kansas in the other Champions Classic game at the UC. Kansas 6.5-point favorites. I think you mentioned you would have liked it at a lower number.
I liked it at 5.5.
Aaron Edwards is out tonight, I think, for Kentucky. I think most of their front court is. So I like Kansas at that number.
Stay away.
Yeah. And then we bring it to the close of the evening. It is the Hawkeyes. It is the Blue Jays. We are now 12.5-point favorites, and I hate that number.
I think that's too many.
Yeah.
I think if we do cover this and win by 20, it is, you can start to think, like, we really have something here.
Yeah.
I was going to score. It should be a very fun game to watch. It should be up and down, good offense, a lot of shooting. 12.5 is just a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot for two teams that are very capable of putting up 90.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think Iowa's averaging 104 on the 2 games this season, which doesn't really mean anything. But at the same time, they're not an offense where, like, I don't think they're going to fear Kalkbrenner too much because they're not even going to get it in there.
Yeah, they won't go. Yeah, they're not going to go at him a ton. They're not built on downhill drives.
Because, like, if I'm them and I'm scheming against this Jays team, you're pick and rolling your guards, I think, to get Ashworth, stuck on a wing or something.
Ashworth a lot.
So I expect they will do that. I imagine they've been looking ahead to this game for a couple of weeks at least now.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be prepared. I'm worried about this game. I'm going to say it. I'm worried about this game.
Yeah,
I think it's a weird tip. It's going to be a weird crowd. I expect it at least 20% Iowa probably.
Yeah. I just don't think, like, you're telling me Creighton's like a 10-point favorite on a neutral? Like, I was 39th in Ken Palm right now. Like, I don't really think I can get there.
It speaks to, I guess, how good we have been, like, just how efficient we've been so far this season. We're taking a lot of open shots. And, like, even if Iowa isn't good defensively, they're going to be a little longer, a little more athletic than the teams we've played.
Yeah.
If it's a hand in the face 3 more times, that matters in a matchup like this, so...
Yeah, I think I would take I would take Iowa in the points.
Yeah.
I think we'll find a way. I think we'll win by 7. I think this is going to be, I know Kalkbrenner's counting stats offensively have gone down a lot. I think this might be the market correction game. I can see him going for 25 here. I think they're going to try to take away the threes. Their big man is an offensive-focused guy from Valpo. They don't really have the bodies down low to combat him. I think Fred King could have a really nice game and live. Like, I could see Fred King in 10 minutes putting up like 8 and 6.
Yep. Well, and so that was another thing. Like, I was thinking, like, Kalk is going to have to be, if he is feeling good tonight, and what I mean is if he's running with the offense all night, he's going to get a lot of rim runs.
I would think so. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of transition or a lot of one-pass rim runs for him, I think.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, I agree completely on King because I think the rebounding in this game is going to be interesting to watch. In theory, there won't be that many, right? We expect a lot of made baskets.
Yeah.
But limiting second chance points is going to be important because if you're taking threes, it's more likely to be kick-out rebounds. I don't see Kalk recording a lot of boards tonight, but that's part of why I like him so much in transition is I think they are going to maybe try to pull him out a little, play a little 5-out at times. So he won't be in there grabbing rebounds. I think it's a big night to board for Baylor.
I was going to say, what's wrong with Baylor Shireman double-double?
I like it tonight. I was in the shower this morning. I'm like, I think Shireman's going to record a double-double tonight. And somebody on Twitter put a triple-double, so I'm like, all right, well, now it's not a hot take, but...
You might need a double-double.
Yeah, I like him. What if his rebound total is 7.5? I love an over on that.
Let's take a look. But yeah, I want to win the game. It's personal. I fucking hate Fran McCaffrey.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of like Iowa friends, but there's enough of them where I'd hear about it, and I fucking hate that.
Yeah. And again, I think it's kind of a game where like you gotta prove to yourself if you are this team that people say you are. Then... Yeah,
I mean you already said it, but if we roll this game tonight, I'm gonna come in here beaming because I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Our team total is 88.5. Like,
so that has them at 76?
76.5, yeah.
I mean, that has it at the old. Okay, yeah, that's a little weird.
164.5 is.
Oh, it's up to 64. Wow,
Yeah.
It was 161 when I saw it earlier.
164, which is insane. Like 164.5, and like, I'm not betting it over at that number,
No.
but I'm not taking the under.
No,
either.
you can't.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't hate the 161 number. I think it'll go over that. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
The only thing would be if it's close late and both teams slow it down.
Yeah, or start fouling.
Yeah, I guess
Like if it's in that, if it's in that 6-7 point range,
Yeah.
A lot that goes into that kind of stuff. That's why I have not like started college basketball betting in earnest yet. I've still only just figured out college football, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I worry tonight. I worry that it will be a quiet home crowd and possibly a loud road crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I worry if we start bad shooting and we're down like 26-15 early, like that's trouble. That's a hard spot to dig yourself out of.
Yeah.
I think what you need tonight is you need one of those. I forget which one of the like made himself popular advanced stats guys. Like if it's that like Evan Miyakawa or whatever, like who does the kill stat. Teams that go on like a 10-0 run in a game.
I know what you're talking about.
I think we need one of those tonight.
Yeah.
I think if you get one of those early in the second half, you can put the game away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be a battle till the end.
We thinking Trey probably guards Sanford. Let's go to
I would think so, yeah. Which is, yeah, I mean,
Sanford 6'7".
Is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. He plays small, I feel like. Or like hunches, I guess.
Yeah.
What is their starting five? Admittedly, I've only kind of watched
I believe
highlights.
it's Sanford, Creaky or Crikey, McCaffrey, and Bowen. Actually, I don't know if it's Bowen. Give me 1 sec. I'll look at what it's supposed to be according to the Almanac.
Like, we won't really mismatch with too many teams this year. We've got enough variation in height, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like, at least projected preseason, it was Bowen, Perkins, Sanford, McCaffrey, and Creaky, whatever.
Well, we'll see. Again, I just it's one of those games where I woke up and did not have a good feeling about it. So my gut has certainly been wrong before. I had a great feeling about the San Diego State game last year. So
as did I. Yeah, I think we'll get it done. I'll say 88-80.
Yeah, I think I had 85-79 this morning, so I'll stick with that.
Yeah,
We're in the ballpark. I think
Iowa covering. You're right on the line. I'm slightly over.
If it was 161, I like the over 164. I'm getting the hell away from that.
Yeah, we'll see. Gotta win it.
Yeah. Any picks you particularly like tonight? I'm on Duke 3.5, Kansas -6, and I like Colorado State -10.5 at Northern Colorado.
I actually did like Iowa enough to bet them, and
Yeah.
I took them. I fade my own teams a lot. I would have liked Duke at 2.5. I said I got Bellarmine earlier at 7. I kind of like Milwaukee getting 18.5 at Colorado.
I also had Baylor -24 against UMKC. That feels like a roll game to me.
Yeah, and I would, pending Kolek's health, I'd lean Marquette.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'll wait to hear for sure, but I like that +1.5.
I don't think UConn -45.5 against Mississippi Valley.
They're going to cover it. They are. Like, Hurley's a psychopath. They're going to cover that game.
What is it now, like 21 straight non-con?
Yes, I think so.
Is their last non-con would be New Mexico State in the tournament, right? When they lost?
Would have had to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Food for thought.
Yeah, food for thought. Bet 'em. It's like tomorrow, Coppin. I don't know what the line is. Coppin State, Louisville. Like, I just bet against Louisville every game. Like, they might lose tomorrow.
At this point,
but, like,
yeah.
There's no way. If Kenny Payne coaches this team all year, there's no way they're not going to be profitable just fading against the spread.
Yeah, probably. Because it's one of those things like the algorithm's going to refuse that this team is as bad as they actually
that's
are.
That's what all the like sharps were saying. They're like, oh, according to like a lot of the metrics, like Louisville outplayed UMBC. If they won by 8, this line wouldn't be what it is. Like it should be Louisville -9. Like all you people betting +5.5. Like you're falling into the narrative. I'm like, sometimes the narrative's right.
The narrative exists for a reason.
Sometimes your coach is that fucking stupid.
Because what you forget about the way the way these lines get set, the algorithm is going to refuse to see something that it can't verify with stats.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, saying, like, oh, it's Kenny Payne and a bunch of freshmen, right? Like, that's just not a winning combination. They will play everybody close because they just cannot put anybody away with the talent they have. It won't see that. So, I don't
They fell
know.
70 spots in Ken Palmer.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a terrible team. It's a terrible team.
It's a terrible team with the worst coach.
Yeah. So no, I and sometimes that is the right way to do it. Just is fade until they prove you otherwise.
And they won't.
They probably won't. Like, believe me, if they cannot beat Coppin State by more than 6, they do not deserve to be picked against the spread for the rest of the season.
I think we kind of want them to blow Coppin State out. Like
We do. Oh, for sure.
Again, like you want them to. We want this carousel to go for a little bit.
If they win by 14 tomorrow and like a couple of buckets late, that is the best case scenario.
That's a good call. So what's their next game? We need Louisville to pull. Oh fuck! They play Texas on Sunday.
That's not great.
That
could
get ugly. Ken Palm right now has them -7 against Bellarmine. Please give me that line. Please give me that line. Oh, I would do bad things to get that line.
That too, like again, that game means something to Bellarmine too. Everybody's looking at Louisville right now, and we're gonna pick them off, right? Like Coppin State is on that flight right now. Like we're getting this win tomorrow. Yeah. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right, now let's talk Louisville.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do it weekly. It might as well just be a recurring segment.
Weekly segment talking Louisville.
Yeah. There's our is Kenny Payne still employed update of the week. But yeah, Jays Iowa tonight. We both like a win, but we both think it's going to be just a little too close for comfort. And yeah, I'll say it, a loss would demoralize me, but I don't think it would change what I think of the ceiling. A dominant win would say something to me.
Yeah, I agree. Dominant win, and you start to really believe.
Yep. All right, that is Dennis and the Doc game preview. Try and get this one in on your way there. You got plenty of time, so we'll see you at 9 p.m. tonight.